HarperCollins presents Angels of War by Lana Kortchik, read by Laurel Lefkow. Part 1. Manila. Chapter 1. October 1941. As she stood on board U.S. Army transport Willard A. Holbrook bound for Manila, her dark hair blowing in the wind, Rose Williams waited for the mist to part so she could catch a glimpse of her future. When she was a little girl, growing up in the sleepy town of Brownville in Maine, she often longed for a bit of magic in her life, for the pages of her favorite books to come alive and whisk her away. And here she was, finally, on the brink of the greatest adventure of all. Somewhere behind her, she heard excited voices and the sound of stomping feet. Land! Land! And yet all she could see in front of her was the twirling gray fog and the silver expanse of the sea, the view she had become accustomed to during the long and uncomfortable passage. She rose to her tiptoes, trying to make herself taller, and pressed the palm of her hand to her heart. With the first rays of tropical morning, the fog dispersed. The water was no longer silver, but shimmering blue. Out of nowhere, it seemed, a ragged outline of land appeared, as if someone had pulled the curtains open. Even though she was expecting it, it took Rose completely by surprise. It was like a magic trick, and Rose blinked, wondering if the land was a mirage that would soon melt away in the blazing sun. But it didn't melt away. Rose watched as little by little pale sand and white residences rose from the sea. It looked nothing like Brownville, rainy and gray at this time of year. At the thought of home, she felt a stab of loneliness. Her mother had been horrified when Rose told her she was going to the Philippines to be a nurse. But then she had been horrified when she applied to the nursing school all those years ago. She didn't want her around sick people at Eastern Maine General Hospital, where Rose had spent the most exhausting but also exhilarating 12 months of her life. Her mother wanted her to live the same life she herself had lived, quiet, safe, uneventful. "There's a war on. If you leave, how can I keep you safe? What if something bad happens?" she repeated, holding her daughter tight one wet morning in San Francisco as they waited for the train that would take her away. Rose wanted to tell her mother that the whole world was out there for her to explore. She wanted to say that she had never seen a tropical sunset before, that she had never swum with the dolphins or sipped a cocktail on the beach. Like all young people, she didn't believe anything bad could happen to her. What she said instead was, "Maybe it's my turn to take care of you for a change. It's good money, Mama." Arriving in Manila on her 22nd birthday seemed like a good omen to Rose. It was a fresh start, and she embraced it with all her heart, even though her heart ached a little. She had never been anywhere other than Brownville, Bangor, Boston, and briefly San Francisco 3 weeks ago. There had been a short stop in Hawaii, a warm breeze on her face that carried with it the unknown, a sense of otherness, a hint of excitement. Now, 8,000 miles away from home, part of the Army Nurse Corps and ready to start her 2-year tour of duty in the Philippines, Rose found herself teetering on the edge of her new life, trembling from fear and anticipation. The other 4 nurses on board the Holbrook didn't teeter or tremble. Their loud voices rose above the sound of the waves and the screeching of the seagulls. "The sky is a different color here," said Kate, a beauty from New York. Her long blonde hair neatly brushed off her face, her small feet tap-dancing with excitement. "And look at the jungle. It's dark green, like emeralds." She clapped her hands, looking delighted. "You should be a poet, not a nurse," said Rose, admiring the greenery that sprawled over the hills all the way down to the sand that was so white it looked like a bridal gown.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?